go and shine and light. So what I always tell them is that we'll go out to evangelism, we sit down with them, we gist together, we talk together, we share together, we want to influence them through his friendship. I feel that's it.
Okay, so for me, I would come from three different angles. So growing up, my mom was very particular about how we grew up, where we were, because then there were a few perceived lapses in the society, and she was determined that we won't come out like that. So my mom could do, when I say people shock, my mom could say to you, I don't want you in my house, I don't want you with my kids. It was very odd, we were embarrassed, but that's how blunt. And because my mom had a major in psychology, as they are coming, she would give you a life history. She could detail all your friends, and she would be exact. I'm not kidding. So we grew up with that knowing, pressure, knowing that your friends had to be people who added something to you.
That's right.
To you. So it had to be that it was either a weakness of yours, they made up for it, or you two of you were liking that you were flying at the same time. Okay, so we had people that were associated with in the neighborhood, and my mom went to them and said, please, I don't want your kids in my house.
Wow.
Yes, it was that bad, As an adult, I began to understand it. So, growing up, you are talking about your associations and influences rubbing off on you. And as you said it, I remember, the Andrew and Peter story. And if they weren't friends, he wouldn't have come back to say, Peter, I have. So it means that all along, the two of them were. So it reminded me, I actually just followed my sister to keep my sister got born again and used to be about it. So all of us followed her in. And so we followed her to church. But at some point, as I began to grow into my own self and became more self-aware, I had my own needs. And so I also, began to look for what it is, find my own center. And that's how, to God be the glory, I met her. Yes. We were, when we were in a region camp that we had known ourselves in the bank. Just in passing, we'll church, we'll go, but by the time we had to work together as branch managers, I just knew that there was something always different about her. And then I picked people's brains a lot. So I would talk to her and I would talk to her, and every time PD came up in that conversation. Almost everything happening around her life, PD came up in that conversation. And there were a lot of things happening, and PD kept popping up. And it wasn't just about the preaching, it was the impact in her life. And so I now realized that, okay, what you've been trying to chase around, why not? And so I just followed her, and from the first conference I attended, I haven't looked back.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
I hope I understood that question, but based on what everybody has said, it could have been popular that I make friends easily, or I'm a people person, but I don't quite think so myself, but basically based on what the assignments, that I've come to understand about what, this assignment and this mandate that we have is about, We're left with no choice, but, if you're going to impact your world, you need to be strategically positioned to do that. You have to be a people person. That was who Jesus was. So I can't basically say that, growing up, or, a friend, I was that friend that, because all of you are going this side, I would turn and I would say, I'm not going there. This is where I'm going to go to, basically. And no, but it was positive, basically. It always came out, positively. But growing up and being here, one thing that I've learned and I try to tell people is that for everyone you connect with, you should be aware of the fact that it wasn't a coincidence. You have something. I feel like you can't pass me, or you shouldn't pass me without me making an impact, basically in your life. And what impact do I have? Is Jesus, So no matter how much, sometimes you need to be very intentional about it. And I think that has worked for me and a couple of my friends. So I end up having, that, because it's not like I exactly want to say, but it's positive, so it just draws, and it can't be hidden, when something is impactful, when it's real, so I just really want to encourage everybody here. Imagine just what she said, like Peter and Andrew. If all of us have that, is it demeanor, and we go out being conscious of the things happening to us, what Jesus have done for us, what God is doing, and about our family, about church, about the body of Christ in general. It's going to be easier for us to actually make disciple of all nations, and it'll be easier for people to turn to to God. So I just hope we will leave here today knowing that we have that assignment. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I think